Why Black America hates Kai Cenat. Now look, I didn't even know that Black America didn't like Kai Cenat. What they're referring to though, their product, Tone, they have a whole skincare deodorant line, AMP, which is Kai Cenat's group. It's being sold in Target, which doesn't support DEI. Basically, like a couple months ago, we were boycotting Target and, you know, basically not supposed to shop there. But, you know, them having their product being in Target, it's basically, they think it's some type of act of betrayal. And before I get into my thoughts, let's just watch the video. Let's see what they got to say.
The only thing scarier than a white man is a black man that's trying to imitate whiteness through capitalism, because there's nothing that he won't do in order to reach his goal of whiteness. I think this Target situation with AMP convinced me that almost all of them voted for Trump.
What?
Today is Monday, January 20th, 2025. Wow. Donald Trump becomes the 47th president of the United States. And at this particular time, him and Elon Musk are still cool. Elon Musk, remember, is the head of Doge. And shortly thereafter, we got this particular announcement. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And most companies like Facebook had this particular programs to pull minorities and other people into upper management positions. So you would see people like Caroline Wanga, who is now the CEO of Essence, benefited from this program when she worked at Target, but more to come with that. And so it benefited a lot of people, even white women, but black people also benefited in some way. And so this program was to guarantee that blacks would be represented in other groups in the professional landscape in upper level management. And then we found out that as a company, DEI was gone. It was optional. If you wanted to use it, you could. If you didn't want to, you could drop it. So Target said, Target dropped it. When Target dropped their DEI program, a lot of people got pissed. And we started seeing levels of boycotts happening in early February in Minnesota. But there was a big boycott that was started around March 5th that was spearheaded by Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant in Atlanta that was supposed to last for 40 days.
And I may be tripping, but even if you drop DEI, you could still hire black folks that are qualified. You just don't have to, you know, you just don't have to have a black person on there. Like, say if there's, there's 5 positions, 3 qualified white people, 2 qualified Hispanics, and 3 qualified black folks. If the top ones just so happen to be none of them be black folks, then it is what it is. If the top 5 just so happen to not be white folks or Hispanic folks, then it just is what it is. But DEI means you have to have at least one of each, or at least some of each. So, yeah.
People are boycotting Target, and here's what you need to know. People are not shopping at Target for 40 days. The boycott started March 5th and runs till April 13th. So this is like a Target fast for Lent. And here's why you need to get behind it. In January, Target rolled back on their DEI initiatives. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Target literally stopped promotion goals for women and people of color. Is that a company that you want to support? Is that a company that you want to stand behind? I'm sorry, but it's time to give up Target. These people do not care about you. They only care about their dollars. You need to take control of your dollar and stop shopping there. Also, if you're investing in Target, sell your stocks. The organizer of this boycott is a pastor from Atlanta, and he said that this is a fast for accountability, a fast for justice. Like, we cannot be okay with how Target is treating its employees. They're treating black entrepreneurs.
Now, it could be debated if DEI helped black people, and of course, I don't really think so, but it didn't matter. I didn't think this DEI boycott at Target would work, but boy, was I wrong.
Black churches.
I honestly think that the fact that Tone is in Target is like, you know what I'm saying, that shows that, like, you know, black people could still find their way in, like, without DEI. You know what I'm saying?
churches have come together to boycott Target for 40 days during Lent because the giant retail store rolled back its DEI initiatives. According to Retail Brew, Target experienced the 10th consecutive week of a decrease in foot traffic a drop in its stock price. The Black Chamber reports Black people spend about $12 million a day at Target. Thanks to Placer AI, we can track foot traffic at Targets in the Carolinas. And from March to March, in North Carolina, there's been a decrease of about 8%. In South Carolina, nearly a 5% dip in foot traffic.
That's crazy.
Now, you can't say this is connected to the boycott, but it does show things have changed.
And not only did we see it in North Carolina, but in other cities like Detroit.
Target is taking a financial hit after dropping its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The retail giant has reportedly lost more than $12.4 billion in revenue.
Damn.
This comes as calls for boycotts against the retailer continue.
It hurt Target so much that foot traffic decreased tremendously. And even Black-owned companies that were distributing their products with Target were getting called out on it. And it got seriously bad. But fast forward, let's go back to the Essence Festival. Now remember, a lot of people had a lot to say about, Africans taking over Essence Festival and, in the Caribbean culture and fufu and other kind of jollof rice being there. That was a discrepancy. But another discrepancy was that the Essence Fest accepted a title sponsorship from Target. This was a slap in the face to a lot of people in the Black community, especially those who vote Democrat, because Essence is now getting out of touch with the culture. You could have went with anybody else, like Walmart, but purposely you disrespected the Black community for money, and you know that Black America doesn't like Target right now.
And I look at Target and try to mute their colors to make it more palatable. Maybe we see you and we skipping it. I think, the line, thin.
That's so interesting.
That's called it. Keep going. We right. Damn.
Now,
it's crazy. How have I never heard of this Essence Festival? This seems like some type of Black festival and they had Target there? That's kind of crazy.
The Target booth at the Essence Festival, people were complaining about it because nobody really wanted to interact with it, according to some. And to make a bigger slap in the face, look at Caroline Wanga on LinkedIn. Now, Caroline A. Wanga, who is the current CEO of Essence, worked with Target. But if you look at what her LinkedIn says, clearly she says she's a DEI practitioner. So why did Caroline Wanga, who basically got her start with Target under DEI, and then also understanding that Target canceled DEI, why did she then, as a CEO, accept a title sponsorship for Essence Fest, knowing that Black people would not like Target, even though they canceled DEI, and she's a DEI practitioner?
Huh?
Exactly. Hypocrisy at its best.
That's kind of crazy, but I feel like it was business. You know what I'm saying? It was for the money. You know what I'm saying?
Fast forward. Now,
not saying it's right.
The Black community has an issue with Target. We would also understand why the Black community would have an issue with anybody who wants to fool with Target. Again, according to most people in the Black community, Target is taking opportunities away from African Americans by not hiring them, so therefore we shouldn't shop there. Any Black person who deals with Target is not on code. Now we have the situation with Kai Cenat and AMP. Now you guys know that Kai Cenat is probably the #1 streamer on Twitch right now. I mean, he's the #1 streamer in the world. I think it's iShowSpeed, but Kai Cenat is huge. He's a very talented guy, and he's a part of a larger group called AMP, which has, him, Duke Dennis, Agent Zero, Chris, a whole bunch of other guys, right? And they have this product called Tone. Now, Tone is like a product that you can buy, and it includes like deodorants and body wash and stuff like that. And because their audience is so huge, a lot of big YouTubers that have this following can sell in stores. And so they can put this product anywhere, and most likely it would sell out. This particular partnership went to Target. And so when it went to Target, people were upset about it because of how the black community feels about Target. And not only did the partnership go to Target, they started streaming giveaways
in Target.
What's the total?
It's gonna be $1,406.
14. Look, $1,400. Y'all did good.
Now, once this started happening, a lot of people in the community started trying to give some advice to AMP and Kai Cenat because they felt that, hey man, you guys are making the wrong decision.
I do feel like anybody, if you have your own product, like say you have your own hair products, right? And then Target reaches out, yo, we want to put this in our stores. Like these drones are crazy, they're good quality, and you really doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of people would do that. Because like I said, it's not like the doors are closed for black people with DEI. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about y'all. They're still hiring black folks at my Targets. But, you know, that's just me though. But I guess I see what you're saying when it comes to CEOs and higher positions and things like that. You know, but I just feel like anybody would do that. Like it'd be bad for business for you to deny Target. Like, say if Target was your first like heavy hitter, big person that wanted to sell your product in their stores. Like, I'm sure a lot of people would do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of black folks would do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Message for the AMP group, the streamers. I was just giving y'all some great credit, man, because I love the way y'all work together. But you have to be careful, man. Do not let corporate utilize y'all. And what they're going to end up doing is going to create brand, right, unalignment or misalignment, rather, to where they're trying to use you all to divide and conquer, right? They believe they can get the demographic of young folks to start supporting Target again. Then it would diminish this whole movement that is boycotting Target. Anytime your people are doing something, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, everybody should be on point. You understand me? If people want to support y'all brand, they can take their ass online. But I don't want to see y'all helping them increase foot traffic into Target, regardless of what y'all business deal or structure is. The whole thing that y'all have is y'all power is independence. But you have to always focus on your brand alignment and be careful of your associations, right? Because in the long term, they may not lose, but you will.
I see what he's saying for sure. He's basically saying, like, just by getting people to come to Target, like, honestly, I low-key, next time I need some deodorant, I might fuck around and grab some Tone, like, just to try it out. You know what I'm saying? And apparently it smells really good too. You know what I'm saying? Might as well grab some lotion too. Why not? And I got a Target right there. I want to see if they got it. Shit, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, but so them by doing this, it's like it's ruining the movement. It's basically setting the movement back tremendously because these niggas got pulled. Like even if it was just Kai Cenat's brand, like he would still have insane pull. So, but the fact that this is a team effort, is everybody in AMP's brand, like, and they're doing subathons, they're doing marathon streams, they're doing streams in Target, which is really fucking cool too. Yeah, it's setting back the movement.
And the criticism came deep. Folks started coming after AMP, started coming after Kai Cenat and calling them all sellouts because, hey, all of you guys are black and the black community is supporting you guys. And then you're out there putting your product in Target, which is against the black community. And one of the people that came out against that from AMP was Dennis Duke.
Like, bro, no cap, they are lying though. That's the crazy part. Like, the same people who got something to say, you telling me that if you had your product and Target was like, hey, can we please put your product in our store?
That's what I'm saying.
No. Shut the fuck up. That's what I'm talking about.
Now Dennis Duke is telling everybody like, yo, like, bro, like, shut up. Like, you guys will put the product into Target if you want it, like if you could do it, but you can't, and that's why you're hating. And this caused a big backlash.
The fact that Duke,
I don't know if he's saying y'all can't and that's why y'all hating, but I feel y'all.
Dennis tried to get on here and lie and say that Target was not losing money like they thought they would. First of all, we don't listen to nobody who lies about how many kids they got. Second of all, you lied about how many kids you got. I can't take advice from you. Third of all, you lied about having kids. I can't trust your research. You don't even know how many kids you got.
And it continued to go forward.
The only thing scarier than a white man is a black man that's trying to imitate whiteness through capitalism, because there's nothing that he won't do in order to reach his goal of whiteness. I think this Target situation with AMP,
and I feel like saying reaching your goal of whiteness is crazy. What does that mean exactly? Are you saying that him being in a bunch of stores and being like a mainline product is whiteness? I just want to know. I just don't understand where bro's going with this. You know what I'm saying?
that he won't do in order to reach his goal of whiteness. I think this Target situation with AMP convinced me that almost all of them voted for Trump. What first convinced me was when Duke Dennis went on Quinn Blackwell's cooking show, and she asked him who he voted for, and he said, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it. And that right there told me, because it's like, if you voted for Kamala, you would say you voted for Kamala. But like the overnight stream at a Target is crazy. Especially,
I don't necessarily think so. I feel like as a social media person, you should never talk about who you voted for unless it's part of your content, because you then divide your you know what I'm saying? Like, say I'm a Trump supporter. I know a lot of my viewers, my live viewers, do not like Trump. You know what I'm saying? But I do a video reviewing Ironheart and say, like, you know, oh, I don't like Ironheart like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a good show for me and things like that. And then boom, a bunch of Trump supporters come to my rescue, of course, because they want to hate on the black woman. But I'm just saying that, like, either way, you should not say who you voted for, because, you know what I'm saying, you divide your masses.
Especially knowing that black folks and people of color are boycotting Target because they threw out their DEI, it's really tone deaf and irresponsible.
But another big part is Kai Cenat. Now, Kai Cenat is a guy who is, from New York with a deep New York accent. If you look at him, you may not know what his background is, but I believe he's like Trinidadian and Grenadian. I'm not sure. But when they signed the deal with Target,
I think he Haitian.
Then people remember this clip.
You're African American, bro. That's it. You're not Trinidadian. You're not Jamaican. You're not African. You're not. Word. You're not Ghanaian. You're not Dominican.
Who are you talking about?
You're not Puerto Rican. You're not Cuban. You are American.
Now, I don't want to take him out of context, but it appears to me that he's saying that, you're just black. You don't have culture like Ghanaians, or you don't have cultures like Trinidadians and the other people. And again, that's kind of how people feel about, Caroline Wanga and the rest of the Africans who are now in control of Essence Fest. And so now it's like, okay, on one hand, you're acting like us, Kai Cenat, like, your culture is very East Coast African American. And then at the same time, you're telling us that we don't have any culture. And then you're moving along with Target, who completely has turned their back on the black community, according to those. Because, like, stop the show. I don't agree with DI. By
the way, either way, I will say that clip was old as shit. Like, his hair was shorter. I haven't heard that sound effect in a long time. And yeah, and it was like Christmas or something. So it was probably a year and some change ago, maybe even 2 years. And Kai, and like, I feel like that was out of context. You don't know what the fuck he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And even if he is talking about that, you don't know in what context. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you can't really use that clip. You know what I'm saying? Plus, like, Kai was probably smaller than what he is now. Like, he definitely when he was saying word and shit like that, he barely say word now. And when he had that sound effect playing and his hair was that short, he definitely didn't do as much collabs as he did now. So he probably just moved a little bit different than what, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely like a lot less careful, like, with his brand. Not saying he was careless, but yeah.
Like, I don't care anything about DEI at all. But understanding that the community does care about DEI, it's a slap in the face. And then when you go back and you look at a clip like from Kai Cenat, then it's almost obvious. It's like, okay, you could use the culture to basically become us, and then when it doesn't benefit you, You can go and, go to Target and stuff like that. Again, this is kind of what happens. I mean, and people do this even in the black community. But again, if you're going to market yourself to the black community, you're going to have to understand what they like. And this goes for Essence Fest. Now, on one hand, I can say, look, they own the festival and they own what they have, and they should be really concerned about Black American culture, right? And again, Kai Cenat with the Target and all that stuff, hey, they could be like taking their product to someplace else, Walmart, and clearly what Target wants to do is to get the black base back buying in Target, right? But here's the situation. These guys have a bigger audience, much larger than Black America. That's the thing. Kai Cenat is just not a superstar amongst black people.
Yeah.
He's a superstar everywhere. Not as big as I Show Speed, but he's close, right? And so the reality is that these guys don't care about Target. They're out of touch. They don't have the problems that, that you have, or maybe I have, or anything like that. And so to expect these guys who are young and don't really understand the struggle and they're rich to understand what you're going through and take a stand is crazy. I mean, I get what you're saying, right? I understand Essence should be doing that because Essence built their brand based on the black community. But Dennis Duke and Kai Cenat, they just happen to be black. They also come from a much younger generation and they're not tied to that. And then some of these guys in AMP are not even African American, like Agent 00. I believe he's like Ethiopian or Eritrean. So like now you have the merging of younger people who are not African American or hashtag FBA, and they're looking for the bag. And they're looking at what makes them, go better. So if Target comes and gives them a higher percentage of money that they can sell, they're going to push Target. I guarantee you that's what Target did. Target said, listen, bring AMP tone into our distribution and you guys will keep a lot of the profits. And they said yes.
And I feel like Target also, they did this because of the backlash that they got. No doubt in my mind. They did this because of the backlash that they got. They did this so they can get black folks, young kids, they can rise their numbers back up in tone. They probably gave them 60-40. Fuck it. You could have more, you could have most of the money, you know what I'm saying? But tone being here will get people in this store. And next thing you know, all right, so they made their trip to Target. They like the atmosphere. Oh, they on their way out of the store. Oh shit, let me grab some chocolate. Let me grab some towels. Let me grab some this. Let me grab some that. So it's just like, so like a chain reaction. And like maybe they come accustomed to Target. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And they're going to continue to do so.
Bringing their numbers back up.
People are going to have to start understanding that, we're going to have people that be for us and people that are not going to be for us. But again, we got to do the work and create our own jobs. And you can't rely on celebrities or YouTubers to, make stands or stand up for you. Not everybody's going to be a stand-up guy like LL Cool J. Like LL Cool J, you declined to perform in Philadelphia while the strikes were going. But that's a stand-up guy. Most entertainers or YouTubers are not stand-up guys like that. And to expect them to be stand-up guys when they're trying to get to the bag is ridiculous. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Dennis Duke, Kai Cenat, and the rest of these guys don't think they owe you nothing. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again. Another episode of Others.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Do I feel like they're wrong? I don't really feel like they're wrong. I don't feel like they're necessarily 1000% right though. But hey, I'm not mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I had a product and Target wanted to put it in my John, and Target wants to put my product in their stores, I'm definitely doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely doing that. Because like I said, I feel like tone alone should show you that, you know what I'm saying, that black people could still find their way. I might be tripping, but yeah, I feel like black people can still find their way in higher up positions. You know what I'm saying? And when they said DEI is an option and they dropped it, they said, okay, well, let's get the people who are qualified. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be just black people. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? DEI isn't just about black people. It isn't even just about minorities. Like, you can have a whole black squad, but before you would at least have to include some white people. You would at least have to include some Hispanic folks. As far as what he said in the video, that's what I got from it. So, yeah, anyway, appreciate y'all for watching.